Hello and welcome to today's live conversation with one of our incredible speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. I'm joined today by the wonderful Melissa Rose. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Where are you joining from?
Oh, thank you for having me today. I am located in Montana, USA.
Nice. We've been having some wonderful conversations with our incredible speakers, and every time we speak, it's like somebody's some different part of the world. So I like this. Like we're hopping over across the globe.
I love that.
So, Melissa, today we're talking about from struggle to strength, unleashing the power of recovery from autoimmune disease. And today's guest is someone who will be sharing about her own experience of recovering from autoimmune disease. So, Melissa Rose, the founder and CEO of autoimmunerecovery.org and Sagebrush Wellness. She is autoimmune recovery specialist who helps individuals experiencing complex disease processes such as autoimmune conditions unravel what is causing their illness and empowering them to resolve their symptoms using holistic methods. And I'm excited to have you here, Melissa, because I know this is going to be truly valuable conversation for people who might be suffering in silence and just uncovering just some insights and bits of wisdom from your personal experience. So tell me a little bit more about your personal story and how you got to doing what you do today.
I love that question. My story started when I was 9, and I started to feel really tired, achy, just your body hurts, not feeling like doing anything. And when you're 9 years old, that's not necessarily what you expect, right? I remember thinking, is this what it feels like to be old?
Wow.
And as time progressed and the different pieces of my dis-ease started to become apparent and kind of snowball on me,
Mm.
I was diagnosed with advanced multiple sclerosis when I was 33.
Wow.
So not having my left side work, like not being able to feel anything with my hands, my leg was completely numb, not working well. My right side was starting to go numb. Migraines nearly daily, to the point where I would go blind at times. That's kind of scary, especially when you're driving down the road. And different things that were coming and going. For example, one of the kind of sharpest ones was I was getting ready to cook dinner, right? So I was reaching up for a butcher knife to cut up the meat for dinner. And thank goodness I didn't actually have it in my hand yet. And something like clicked in my head, and immediately my body went completely numb. I just fell in a heap on the floor. I could hear, but I couldn't move anything, like to blink my eyes to tell my kids that I was okay or to speak or anything. After that incident was when we really started trying to figure out what in the heck was going on with me. And I ended up with a multiple sclerosis diagnosis. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. And so you went on a journey of really uncovering how to heal yourself holistically. How did that come about? Why was that the route that you've taken instead of an ordinary medical help?
Ooh, love that question, because so many of us forget, especially when we get a really, you know, scary diagnosis for ourselves. We forget to lean in and really go, okay, how do I feel about this? Because I remember in the appointment with my neurologist that as soon as he was telling me, I'm sorry, Melissa, but you have multiple sclerosis, immediately the next thing was, but this is not going to be me. And when he was offering me medicine or two different types of medication, I didn't know what to do, but I knew I didn't want to do that. So that kicked off my journey of really doing nothing because I didn't know what to do until I met a practitioner that does much what I do and helped walk beside me and guide me and just uncovering all the pieces that was causing the dis-ease in my body. And I started to get well, which is what, nobody told me I could do that. And not that we need permission, but oftentimes when no one speaks of the ability to be well, that thought isn't even in our head, because in the testing process and all of the appointments and all of the research, there's nothing that says, by the way, this could be caused by XYZ. And guess what? You can address this.
Yeah. Why do you think the holistic approach to health and healing isn't as mainstream and talked about
Mm.
um, currently? Because obviously there are other ways of healing ourselves
Mhm.
than just the medical sphere. Why is there not enough information about this?
I have two thoughts about that. One is the fact that there's not a lot of like clinical research
Mm,
around that. Not a lot of white papers, not a lot of publications in journals. And that's part of why I created autoimmunerecovery.org, because I want to create a side of that to really delve into the research of how we can help bodies recover and people recover fully using natural methods. But do the studies, do the white papers, do the publications in the journals. The second reason I believe is that doing this in a holistic way takes intention and it takes work.
mm,
It's not hard, but it's different. And it's changing our style of living in almost every way
mm.
to become more in alignment with what our body and our mind and our heart needs. So it's not just taking supplements. It's not just eating the right foods, which those are pieces of it. It's not just testing. It's also using that information that comes in through testing, or that we learn through doing other types of work on especially trauma work. Really leaning in and seeing what is a kind of pushing in on our body, that our body's going, you know, so
Mm,
it takes work. It takes work, and for most people, it takes finding a practitioner to walk beside them so they don't get lost in the kind of the tangle of trying to unravel this all by themselves.
yeah, because you wouldn't necessarily know. As I said, there is not enough research. There's not enough knowledge out there of what are the
No.
tools. Do you
Mhm.
feel like our bodies are designed to heal themselves?
Oh, yes. We have it already inside, everything that we need. Sometimes the piece that's the hardest is the choice to shift. Just And sometimes it's a 2%, 1% shift. It's just like, okay, today I will do this.
Mm,
Yeah. We are designed to heal.
yeah. And I believe, that is almost like a mindset shift that needs to happen when there's a lot of, okay, I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to go to the doctor, and that is the only way. But this is completely different mindset shift
Mm.
where can I take care of myself in a more holistic way? And what other things do I need to do in order to not just heal myself, but also to continue
Mhm.
to stay healthy thereafter? What are some of the practices that you use in your own personal life now?
Mm. I really, really lean into a morning routine for myself.
Mm,
So there are two things that I have in my world that are non-negotiable. One is meditation time in the morning. That is something I would never have given myself permission to do when I was really, really sick. Like, I never felt like I could take time for me. But now that is a solid. It is something that I do every day. The second thing is a bath at the end of the day to just relax, let everything fall away. It's me time, and just be in the moment, quiet. Nobody's bugging me. Just be with myself. And those are two pieces of my day that have become really, really, how do I say, a piece of me continuing to be well, besides doing all the other self-care things that I do and paying attention to clues from my body when things start to kind of go off a little bit, going, okay, catch it on the first round, not on, 10 months in.
Yeah, definitely. So at Autoimmune Recovery organization that you founded, who do you tend to help and at what stage? And what are the results of the support that
Mm,
you offer?
I love that question. So we help whoever needs our support. However, who we find coming to us the most are ladies, especially professional women, who
Mhm.
have a really big heart, a really big goal, what they want to bring into the world, and they're doing it. They're doing it. They're in the middle most of the time. They're wives and mothers. They're trying to really care for their families as well. But in the midst of this giving and building, their body is starting to go, things are starting to go sideways in their bodies. And for these women, it's like if their bodies can't back them up, it hampers how they're able to show up in the world and what they're able to build. So it's really, really important for them to be well and just at the top of their game. So those are the type of precious gals who find us mostly to really gain support around what is the imbalance here? How can I really own my wellness journey and be optimally as well as I can be every day so I
Yeah,
can give what I want and create what I want, how I am making the world a better place.
yeah,
And when people come in with that intensity and that intention, there's really no stopping them. I'll just tell you. Those are the folks that are the most successful and are able to reach their wellness goals.
yeah. Beautiful. I love that. I love that you just like, here's the women who really striving for more success, but perhaps have forgotten to take care of themselves first. And they give, I always say, we as women will give to others so well. We take care of everybody else. We take care of our babies, our families, our husbands, our parents. But it's not always that we give to ourselves and really give ourselves the permission to take care of ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
What tips would you share today with our audience who perhaps are on this journey of recovering from their own autoimmune disease?
Ooh, there are so many I could share, but if I could just share one or two with you, one of the ones, excuse me, that I find is the most useful because we are so dedicated and we are so in to our work and really bringing to the world what has filled our hearts, what we want to deliver, is that often we don't take the time to just, like, when we feel things going off and our body going off kilter and it's starting to become a pattern and we're seeing it, but we don't know what to do with it. That's the time to really just create a space of quiet,
Mm,
even if it's for 5 minutes. Shut everything off, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, go to a different room, just create some quietness and lean in and literally ask your body, what can I do for you?
mm,
And lean in, just whatever comes up, whatever feelings, whatever thoughts. Sometimes the only thing you can think about is taking a nap. So figure out a place in your world that you can carve out a little time to just close your eyes. The second thing that I would suggest, especially if you're well into a complex illness and you might not even have a diagnosis yet, but you know something is not right for you, find a practitioner that can walk beside you to help unravel that. Because to be honest, if you can catch what's going on for yourself before you get to the point of diagnosis, it's much easier and much quicker to turn that around.
mm.
But often without a name to the disease process, that's going on for you, it's hard to think about, what do I do? How do I really address that? So finding a practitioner that just resonates with you, that you can just really vibe with, I would suggest starting work with someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite stressful when some things are going wrong in our lives, health-wise.
Yeah.
And that moment of unknown, it's quite scary. And I know you've been there, and I'm sure you've been there with your clients as well.
Yeah.
How can people manage that time when they haven't been diagnosed, they know something is going on, and they don't know what answers, where to look for answers, where's the
Mhm.
support, what am I trying to cure? Because really it's just the
Yeah.
symptoms of something much deeper. What would you say to someone like that?
Pardon me, let me take a drink.
That's all right. And for those of you watching right now, this is your opportunity to ask some questions. I see quite a few of you just tapping in, listening, but we've got Melissa here live. So please take the moment to engage in the conversation, chat, ask questions if you do. And of course, these might be more personal questions that you have, which in which case you can also reach out to Melissa directly. So, sorry, Melissa, over to you.
Oh, that's great. I apologize for my voice. It's kind of popping in and out here.
That's okay.
But one of the things to think about is if you can create a timeline that leads up, like think about your first symptom that you had, where you were, what was like, where were you living? What were the pieces of your life at that time? Include the stressors, include the things that made you stay awake at night, the fears, the things that were coming in for you, and follow that timeline, really taking note of when new symptoms came to be and noticing what was going on around that. A lot of times that can give us clues into what could be causing what is happening with your body. That's where I would start. The second thing that I would do is really lean into, like, I've got on our website at autoimmunerecovery.org, I have a very in-depth questionnaire that you can go through by yourself to really just using symptoms, asking questions to really lean in and pinpoint your top 3 areas of risk.
Mm,
When you have that type of information, then you can go, okay, if you don't have any thoughts around how you can address that yourself, then you can be really clear about your research for finding a practitioner that works well and can actually handle what you are dealing with. So, for example, if you do the questionnaire and one of your top things that comes up is mold toxicity, or you might have Lyme disease or something, or a risk towards that, then you can go, okay, I need a practitioner who works holistically with mold. There aren't a whole lot of us in the world that do that. Or
yeah,
someone that works with Lyme in a holistic manner. Do your research, do the phone calls, find somebody that you're really resonating with, and then just lean in. But there are tools out there to really help you kind of zero in on what could potentially be causing this for you, especially when you're going, okay, this is happening, but I have no idea what's going on or
yeah.
where to start.
I love that you've got that quiz on your website because it allows us to identify like the root cause. And sometimes if we
Yeah.
can start at not just at the cause and effect, but actually start at the root cause. So if there are practices, daily practices that you're having, perhaps without even self-conscious awareness that these are the things that's causing you. Like, I'll give you a simple example. I was doing meditation earlier this week and I put on a candle that had a lot of incense in it. And the second day, I was struggling with headache, right? And I know when I take it back to it, I felt when that happened because of
Exactly.
the incense, right? So now I know that next time when I'm burning this candle, it's not going to be in such a small environment that allows more air to breathe.
Exactly.
So just sometimes little things like that. What adjustments can you make in your life um to go at a root cause?
Exactly. And sometimes those root causes are not big and, whatever they could be, something so simple. So simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa, I feel like there are so many things that we could cover. And as I'm not seeing any questions engaging yet, and I welcome you, ladies and gents, perhaps, who's watching to engage in our conversation. But I know we're going to be going much deeper at the Women Thrive Summit, which is our annual women empowerment event. And I'm so glad to have someone like yourself speaking up about the things that perhaps is not so mainstream. There aren't so many people talking about it. And genuinely, it takes more awareness for people to realize there is help. And I know personally, when I was going through some struggles some years ago, I was going through struggles for longer than it was necessary because I
Mhm.
didn't know there was help.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited that you're speaking on our Women Thrive Summit in March, and you will be talking about from struggle to strength and unleashing the power of recovery from autoimmune disease. Tell me a little bit more. What can people expect during your talk?
So I'll be telling a little bit more about my story, kind of leaning into it a bit more with you. However, I will be outlining some of the most simple, easy ways to uncover what is actually driving autoimmune in your own life, if that is a part of your world. Or if you're a caregiver, or if you're a hubby or a wife and your partner is experiencing an illness or a dis-ease process that you're going, we don't know what to do with this. Really leaning into what are some simple ways that you can start working on this, effective ways, things that we do in our practice with our clients every day that anyone can do, no matter what your diagnosis, if you have a diagnosis, is, and see sustainable results from it.
Wow, incredible. How can people connect with you?
The best way to connect with us is through our website, autoimmunerecovery.org. But we are also on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel where we publish so much training. We try to do at least one new webinar a month. We have expert panels happening every month, really leaning into this piece of how can we empower you to be well.
Beautiful. I love that. So, for those of you watching this right now, I'm just going to pop your website on screen again, autoimmunerecovery.org. Make sure you visit this website and take advantage of the resources that Melissa has mentioned today. You never know, you might be going through something that you're not finding the answers and you just need more holistic approach to it. And why not try? Sometimes these things doesn't even cost a thing for you to start looking into your lifestyle changes, but it just takes that commitment and learning. And I'm so excited to have Melissa speaking on our stage to really shed more light on this. Thank you, Melissa.
You're so welcome. And if I may, we do a newsletter every month. We publish a new training, a new blog, and a fun new recipe every month in our newsletter. So if nothing else interests you in what we do, being in our newsletter list and really receiving just the fun little pieces of information that we put out every month may really benefit you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Melissa. This is wonderful. Really, really valuable insights. To all of you watching this right now, please make sure you share this social media live with your audience because you never know who might be needing this information right now, who might be looking for answers, who might be struggling in the quiet and really not speaking up about the pains and struggles they are having right now. And maybe this social media live, this conversation could help somebody right now. So make sure you click that button to share with your audience right now. If you wanting to ask questions, we are going to come back to our chat or our comment section. So drop some questions below. And if you feel like this is far too private and you want to have a discussion with Melissa herself, get in touch with her. Go ahead, visit her website, get onto her newsletter, receive this information because this is genuinely gold for us in life to move forward to more holistic well-being and health. And this could really cost a life. That's how serious this is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working with a young man right now that is just, he's so fun to work with. Um, and he's lost a business and his family because of his illness.
Wow.
And his body is turning around. And we had this discussion just a couple days ago. He's like, oh my goodness, now it's time for me to think about what do I want to do when I'm well?
Wow.
So he's exploring literally what does he want to do when he's well? He gets to start over. He gets to live again. And he's like, oh my gosh. And it's a little frightening for him. But he's like, you know what? I am so in. I get to do life.
Again, and it's a new lease of life that you've given a gift of life to someone. And what a
Oh,
wonderful work to be doing, Melissa. I really honor what you do. And I'm so glad that we get to spotlight you on our stage. Appreciate that.
thank you.
To all of you watching, make sure you head over to Women Thrive Summit, register for your spot. Make sure you are there to support Melissa on her talk and soak up all this knowledge and information that she will be sharing during her talk. And make sure you head over to her website, as mentioned before. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you tune into the next interview with one of our incredible speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. Melissa, thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.